Are you a rapper, artist, writer, or singer? Then you probably deal with this. Writer's block can be the most annoying thing in the world. Here are some ways that I help get out of it. And make sure you tune in for tip number 3. It's the most important tip of them all, in my opinion. But let's get into it. Writer's block can be the most annoying thing in the world, right? As an artist, rapper, singer, songwriter, this is something you're gonna face in your journey no matter what. It's inevitable, right? So when you're dealing with writer's block, these are some tips that really help me. The first tip, you gotta warm up your brain and find exercises that really help you tune into your creative side of your brain. Sometimes we just jump into the studio or jump into the lab and whatever you're doing and just expect to just get going right away. This is something that one of my favorite rappers, J. Cole, said in an interview back in 2014, almost 10 years ago. And I've been practicing this ever since I've heard that, and it's been nothing but helpful to me whenever I have writer's block. By getting warmed up and doing these exercises, grab a notebook, right? Take your notebook and write. Put your pen down to the paper and don't pick it up until you fill up the whole sheet, right? All you gotta do is write your thoughts. You're getting your brain started to write, and you're getting those creative juices flowing, and you're kind of opening up your heart and soul before you actually get into your song creating, right? So I feel like this is a helpful thing that always has helped me when I'm in a writing slump at times, right? So just put that pen on that piece of paper and just write until you fill up a whole sheet. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to make sense. Just write, and it's warming up your brain. That works even in your cell phone. Even if you just on the go and you have a few minutes to yourself, just write as long as you can without stopping your text, and just open up your mind and like it. And I'm telling you, this technique will help your brain juices stay flowing. Another technique I like to use when I have writer's block that I find very helpful when I enter the studio. This step right here, I feel like is just important, finding inspiration. I'm in this place where I can't figure out how I want to portray my feelings or to find the right words, and it's just nothing's working. What I like to do is I like to go read poems. I like to go read quotes. I like to read speeches. Find your favorite author. Find a Maya Angelou poem and read through a lot of her work, and see how she words things and see how she describes things, and that goes for any of your favorite authors. Just find something that's powerful and read it, and just seeing the words on the paper and reading it, you just get the spark of inspiration. It's almost inevitable when you read through poems. I even like the Google quotes. Say I'm trying to convey a song about love, and I'm looking for a different way to just express my feelings. Sometimes you can't find the words, so I'll literally Google quotes about love, and I'll read 100 quotes about love, and you'll see things and get inspired from things and be able to take from special things that people have said before. It's just about how far are you willing to go look for inspiration. Even I tend to go to lyrics outside of my genre. I make rap music, but I'll go to a Linkin Park album, a Green Day album, an Adele album, a Prince album. I'll go through albums some work that I've necessarily never really dove into all the way. I've dove into a few of them, but really I'll go to random artists and I'll read their lyrics, get the chance to like soak up inspiration from reading their lyrics and see how powerful they hit. And it hits different when you read it and you hear it. Sometimes you've been singing lyrics to songs that you're like, oh, I didn't even realize that's what they were saying, and that's what I've been singing this whole time. And the final, most important tip for part 1 is definitely, I think this is the key to getting out of writer's block. I think this is one of the most important things. Some of my mentors have told me about this, and this has really changed my perspective on creating and writing art, just all in full circle. Stop expecting perfection. Stop expecting perfection. Go ahead and just write. Because you got to give yourself room to grow. Every idea, every project, every song starts off as a baby and grows into a full adult, right? And you got to give it time to grow. Sometimes when you sit down and you get in motion and you get to creating, you want the best. And you don't feel like that and you get discouraged and stop. You know, you got to be able to keep going. Like there's times where I write whack verses, but the fact that I wrote this 24 bar verse down and I locked it in, I might take a few, but I might come back later and take a couple bars from this. You know, even though I might not think it's like super, super dope, you know, but by the time I continue to create, I don't let that discourage me and stop. Continue to create, because sometimes as a rapper, you know, I record a lot of music in a studio session. Sometimes, just depending on the session, I could do 2 songs a session. I could do 6 or 7. You never know. We could do 10. So you know, if I stopped and got discouraged at the first song of the day, you'll get discouraged and not want to continue. You don't feel like it's your best. You don't feel like it's this is it. You never know. You never know. Maybe you get just one line. That one line from this verse you thought was whack is the hit line in another verse. Or maybe you just think it's whack and not up to par, but really it's a hit. You feel me? So I think stop expecting perfection when you sit down and write. It's okay to be trash. Be whack. Be whack. Give yourself room to grow. No, find out what you do like. Find out what you don't like. Be experimental with your art. You know, and I think that's the most important piece of advice that I got. It's just writing. It's just music. It's just the thing you love to do the most. Don't stress it so much. Don't expect perfection. Just write. Just write and have fun, and find out where in your heart feels right to write about. And sometimes when you're trying to be perfective and perfected, it doesn't come out the right way. Sometimes you just gotta let that pen flow, you know. But these are my ways. These are tips that really help me on my journey as an artist and rapper and aspiring MC. These tips right here really help me a lot. And you know, for that last one is the secret key to it all. I think once you could do that and just let go and not expect perfection, you're gonna be all right. But let me know in the comments if you have some other tips to my artists out there that have other tips. Let people who may be watching might be looking for tips. So let them know in the comments.